Developed and published by LucasArts and released in 1995 for MS-DOS and Mac, later to the PlayStation in 1996, it's Star Wars Dark Forces. Dark Forces is a first-person shooter set shortly before and after the events of Episode 4 A New Hope. You play as Kyle Katarn, a rebel who is sent on top-secret operations or incredibly dangerous missions. These range from stealing the Death Star plans, to taking out Imperial Shadow Troopers. But is it any good? Let's find out with The Good. Dark Forces gameplay consists of running around a maze-like map, opening doors and flipping switches while shooting up bad guys along the way. This system works generally well. The maps are pretty varied and are fun to navigate. The weapons have various uses and are a great joy to shoot. Some weapons even have these nice little lore touches, like the E11 Stormtrooper blaster being inaccurate. Unlike many first-person shooters of the time, Dark Forces actually has a half-decent story. You get a cutscene before and after most levels, as well as in-depth mission briefings. There's even character dialogue during the levels. And of course, there's some brilliant full-motion video. But with the good comes the bad. Movement in Dark Forces can be an absolute pain. Kyle moves around like he's on ice skates. This becomes a real problem when the game expects you to do difficult jumps. I found myself falling down pits, mainly due to the slippery movement. I also found the game's aiming to be finicky. Sometimes it's spot on, but at other times it's pretty inaccurate. But other than those complaints, I don't really have any others, so I think it's time to talk about The Ugly, where I talk about the game's technical issues and presentation. This footage was captured from the PC version of the game emulated through Dosbox. The graphics in Dark Forces are pretty nice. The weapons and enemy sprites look like the weapons and enemies they're supposed to be. The cutscenes even have some really nice pixel art. The music is recognizably Star Wars, even in its MIDI form. Throughout my playthrough, the game ran at a solid 60 frames per second, except for a few hiccups. I assume that these drops were from emulation and not the game itself. I also experienced no bugs or glitches while playing the game. Dark Forces is a great first-person shooter. I'd recommend it to any Star Wars fan and to any FPS fan. If you do plan on picking the game up, I'd recommend the good old games version over the Steam version. Here's a quick comparison of the two. Now it's time for my rating. Star Wars Dark Forces gets an FMV Boba Fett out of 10. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next Infinite Backlog review.